Well, hi everyone. Sean Humphreys here. Welcome to this edition of the Take Charge with Change podcast. We constantly talk about methods and ideas around building professional resilience. And certainly this presentation today is about entrepreneurial resilience. And so I came across a great article in Entrepreneur magazine or blog, and it talked about the 5 critical warning signs that you're making bad decisions, specifically as an entrepreneur. So these are things we need to be aware of that can derail our effectiveness. Now, the entrepreneurial lifestyle has a lot of pluses and has some minuses as well. And obviously there's minuses because such a high percentage of entrepreneurs don't succeed in their entrepreneurial journey. So be aware of these 5 critical warning signs. And I don't think these warning signs are necessarily just for entrepreneurs, business people managing and building their businesses. I think in the corporate world, these strategies are things to be mindful of as well. So let's take a look at the 5 critical warning signs that you're making bad decisions. Okay, the first warning sign is perfection. We all want to get things right, and some of us want to get things right more than others. But perfectionism is one of those things that can get in the way of making good decisions as an entrepreneur. In fact, Dan Sullivan, who is the founder, along with his wife Babs, the Strategic Coach Program, often says, 80% is probably good enough. The final 20% of any project or issue you're dealing with may not add a lot more value to your entrepreneurial enterprise or the projects you're trying to get accomplished. So don't let getting everything right slow you down from what you want to achieve as an entrepreneur. Don't get too down the rabbit hole of perfectionism. Start your journey, make progress, work in your projects, but that last 20%, be very strategic. Is it really worth really focusing on that last little bit of mileage, and will you get the kind of return and payback from that extra additional time? So that's the first point, is perfection. Procrastination, particularly being an entrepreneur where you can control so much of your personal time and your business time and where you allocate resources, this can really get in the way of professional effectiveness because we will tend to move in the direction of things that we enjoy doing, and we're going to put off those things that we don't enjoy doing. So you need to really force yourself to really lean into those things that you don't naturally like to do, but it's part of the entrepreneurial journey. It could be, for some of you, it could be maintaining your books, the bookkeeping, the financial management, that kind of thing. For others of you, you don't mind that part. It's really the networking and the marketing that gets in the way. So there'll be certain aspects of our entrepreneurial journey that we really need to lean into, and probably do it when we have the most amount of energy. Look at your week, look at your day. When can you really marshal energy to tackle those things you don't particularly like to do? So what's number 3? Not hungry enough. You sometimes see this in entrepreneurial journeys where we hit a plateau, or we think we've sort of arrived, and we take things for granted and we start going in a coast mode. And there's no such thing as coast mode. You think back to all the work it took to get you to the point where you're getting momentum, you're generating momentum, you're making progress, and you hit a certain milestone, you achieve a lot of your goals, and then you back off a little bit. And the reality is, as entrepreneurs and business people, particularly in a very dynamic, ever-changing business environment, we can't do that. We need to always focus on growth, look down the road. What can we do to be relevant, to add value to our clients' lives, and to always be incrementally improving what we're doing? So don't get complacent, because complacency is going to derail you in your entrepreneurial journey. Okay, lack attention to detail. So again, this is one of the things where you can easily fall prey to being blindsided on. So a great example that the article talked about is how entrepreneurs might delegate certain parts of their business and compliance work to, could be accountants, could be lawyers, other professionals. And when you begin delegating, it doesn't mean you release those things and become completely passive or unaware of what's going on. Whether it needs to be taking basic accounting courses, financial courses, different courses and information, being a lifelong learner, know enough so that you understand what your professionals are doing, whether they're doing it effectively, and ask detailed questions so you're really aware of what's going on in your business, because entrepreneurs who are not aware of those things can get blindsided, and that's not something you want to go through in your entrepreneurial journey. So don't just delegate and then not follow up or not understand exactly what's going on in your business. And the next one, number 5, don't devote enough time to critical thinking. That's a really important one. We get bogged down in the tyranny of the urgent, and we're just trying to survive. We're trying to get through the next week, meet our sales quotas, meet cash flow, payroll, those kinds of things. It's very easy in the midst of all that to not take time to think critically about what you're doing, whether you're strategically aligned with your goals in terms of your activities, looking ahead, doing planning, really zeroing in on the different processes in your business. How can you change it? Is this the right thing? Are you using your resources effectively? That's really, really important. We sometimes think that in the midst of busy weeks that we just can't justify that time, but that really is one of the highest leverage investments of time that you can make, and that's critical thinking, looking at your planning, reassessing, educating. Well, I hope you found this particular podcast helpful, maybe a little bit provoking, and if you want more information about building professional resilience in your organization, your key executive teams or staff, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We'd enjoy having a conversation around those issues. You take care. Bye-bye.